Hello everyone and welcome to CPI training, that is SAP Cloud Platform Integration. My name is Binod and I would be your trainer for this training. That once we complete this training, you will know that what is exactly Cloud Platform Integration, that is now under integration suite, and it is called cloud integration. So we are going to discuss in depth where it will help a developer, architect, or functional people to understand how CPI works, how you can do a interface building on this, how you can utilize different offerings or the components of the CPI, and how you can build interface connecting to on-premise, on cloud, file system, any type of servers, and you can exchange information. And we will also take you in detail and will help you to have a hands-on to understand that how each and every components are used when you do the real development. So anyways, when we discuss each topic one by one, then you will understand more. So let's get started with very high level overview. First it would be theoretical in nature, then we will log into the system, and I'll teach you how to create the user ID first for then next how you will able to create a trial account. And once you have a trial account, you will able to do all kind of development POCs and able to practice along with me and able to learn each and everything whatever we have in cloud platform integration. So yeah, so since I said this is first session is going to be complete theoretical, and these are the table of contents that we are going to study together. So first we'll cover what is SAP Cloud Platform Integration and overview. Why exactly we need Cloud Platform Integration? And many of you would be knowing that SAP CPI is a cloud version middleware offerings from SAP, and earlier SAP had provided PIPO, that is on-premise middleware provided by SAP. So again we will also see that now how PIPO and CPI can help you to integrate, and when you should be using CPI, when you should be using PIPO server. If you are not aware of PIPO, that's okay, I will give you very high level overview on this. You will understand okay that what exactly it is. But yes, this training is completely, we are going to focus on SAP CPI, that is cloud platform integration, and now it is called cloud integration, and that comes under integration suite. So just remember HCI, that is the very first version that SAP had released. HCI, that is HANA Cloud Integration. Then later it was rebranded to CPI, that is Cloud Platform Integration. And later now recently it is part of integration suite, and it has been renamed to Cloud Integration CI. So all these things are same. So just understand, if I am talking saying CPI, I am talking about the latest CI itself. So when we log into the system you will understand, but since we have been using this since many years, we are used to saying CPI. Anyways, and next is we are going to also understand very high level now for in theory what is cloud integration, cloud connectors. Later on we'll see in detail. We'll log into the cloud connector and we'll show you few of the configurations then we can do. We'll also discuss on open connectors, when to use, how to use, then also integration solutions on premise versus cloud. And also in detail our focus is going to be cloud platform integration services that it offers, discover, design, monitor, and how exactly it's going to help you to understand what to expect from cloud platform into integration. Okay, so let's go to the next slide and we'll discuss more. So here I am this session I have designed in such a way that even if you are very new to a middleware, you have no prior experience, at least you will know that when exactly you should be using middleware, what is the use of SAP Cloud Platform integration. So yes, I would be keeping it this session in such a way that anybody who has never heard of SAP CPI, have never worked on any technologies, it is going to help you. And even if you are experienced person, if you have worked on CPI but you want to enhance more knowledge, want to get a depth knowledge, or if you are a system architect working on different systems, want to know what exactly is CPI, what to expect from CPI, what are the different offerings from CPI, all those things you will definitely learn once you complete this entire course. So okay, let's get started. So first thing, what we are going to discuss here is SAP Cloud Platform Integration Overview. So what is Cloud Platform Integration? So if we understand, it's a middleware. So we know that what is middleman, right? Middleman is something like it will connect different people, and it has one purpose, that it will connect different people to serve different purpose. So here in IT world, we have so many different systems. For example, we have cloud applications where you know that we will have SAP Ariba, SAP Fieldglass, Hybris, SuccessFactors, and many other SAP cloud systems. Also, we can have non-SAP cloud systems. Then we will have on-premise systems. Then obviously we have the government servers, we have mobile applications, we have social networks, like Twitter, Facebook, and many more, Instagram, right? And we have business partners. So you can understand that there are so many different type of systems, and all systems are built for very specific purpose. For example, success factor, it has been built for very specific purpose. It stores all the details of all the employees, and it stores all the different type of data about the employee, like personal information, payroll information, project information, location, and so many details. And there are many other systems which has been built for different purpose. For example, mobile application, it can give you any sort of information, or you may be a business person, a manager, and you want to know how your business is doing. How will you know that? You would like to see that data in mobile application. So from where will you get that data? You will get that data maybe from on-premise system to your mobile application, or you can get from maybe from cloud application to mobile application. So there are so many systems. All the systems are built for very specific purpose, and it can work mainly on those kind of business logics. For example, database, it is used for storing the data. But if you have stored the data, it is just used for storing, but you would like to use those stored data somewhere else, to use it maybe for analytical purpose, for predictive analysis, or maybe for data mining, or many more, or maybe you can use as a master data. So what I'm saying is, you may store that data somewhere in the database, but you would like those data to be used somewhere. Or for example, you have stored the employee data in success factor system, and since you are an employee, you will have so many things to do. For example, you are in organization, you might do some expenditure or expend some money due to business trip, and you might have to reclaim those information. And maybe for example, you are using SAP Concur in that case. So in that case, what will happen is, your employee data has to be replicated to SAP Concur, so that whenever there is any expense reclaimed from you, you should able to log into Concur system, and you should able to upload your receipts, and you can claim your amount. So one thing what I will try to explain over here for you to understand is why we need the middleware. The middleware is used for connecting different systems, replicating data from one system to another. Because for example, once you join an organization, now it happens is that your data is already added in one system, for example SAP success factor, and those data has to be used or replicated to different systems. So if you have for example success factor system, and you would like that data to be replicated in Concur, so that you can claim expenses, that data may be needed by finance systems to pay your salary, and that data may be needed by other systems, maybe timesheet system or something like that. So there are so many different systems. All systems are designed for very specific purpose, and all systems may need data that is stored in different system, right? So this is just one example. So what we are planning to do here is we want a data to be replicated from one system to another system automatically. We don't want that human beings should log into SuccessFactor, and we cannot expect him to log into all different systems and add all those informations manually. Because when we expect human being to log into all different systems and update all the data manually, there is a problem. The problem is that person has to do a data entry in all the systems manually, and that is where it will take so much of time for him to do that changes manually in all the systems. Since we are expecting that person to do a manual change, it may introduce some human typo error, and also the time taken by the human being to replicate that information in all the system may be more, maybe not acceptable by us. So the solution is CPI, that is cloud platform integration. So it's a middleware. So what exactly it will do is it will fetch data from SuccessFactor, and it will replicate to all the systems wherever that information is required, and that would be done automatically. As soon as you update in the SuccessFactor, depending on the logic and all in cloud platform integration, those data would be automatically replicated in other systems. So this is very high level. I'm trying to explain you that why we need middleware, how middleware helps in replicating data from one system to another, right? Okay, so we'll go through this PPT and try to understand that how it helps. So if you see, it says lower cost of ownership, minimal upfront investment, faster innovation and scalability. So what exactly is this? So here we are actually talking about cloud platform integration, and when we talk about all these points, actually here we are comparing with our own premise PIPO system. Why? The reason is, that what is on premise, what is cloud. If it is on premise, it means you are installing that particular software or application or database in your local server, local data center. And since you are installing that software application in your data center, you are responsible for maintaining it. You have to install it, you have to maintain it, you should have an admin team to look after that system, have to keep updating it with different patches to keep it up to date, right? And when you go for cloud platform integration, which is a cloud offering, you are going to get so many advantages. So what are those advantages? First thing is total lower cost of ownership. So what exactly is this? It means that since it is in cloud, you will able to access CPI on your browser. You don't have to install anything. You don't need your own data center. Just you have to work with SAP, get the subscription, and you will able to access CPI on your browser. So you can understand that, and since it is not your in your data center, all the maintenance, upgrade, patching, all those things would be taken care by SAP, and you don't have to have a separate team to maintain that. Then minimal upfront investment. The reason is when you plan that you need a middleware to connect your all systems that you have your in your landscape or outside your landscape, you want to have a middleware. So if you go for CPI, since it's in cloud, you don't have to set up you don't have to go and purchase a data center. You don't have to get it installed. You are not doing any building a admin team. The only thing is you are taking subscription, and that is ready now for you on your browser. So that is how you are making minimal upfront investment. You with very minimal investment, you are getting a middleware where you're ready to bring your developers work on CPI system, and they will able to build all the interfaces. So that is the reason it is minimal upfront investment. Now, okay, so when we talk about faster innovation and thanks to sort of project and upgrade cycle, what exactly we understand is since CPI is going to be managed by SAP, SAP is going to make sure that if there is any additional capabilities, if there are any upgrades planned, they are going to manage and add all the new features on CPI, all add new offerings, as well as if there is any new packages or new offerings or there is new upgrade, they will handle it. And since it is everything has been built, designed, and upgrades are done by SAP, it is really faster compared to when we talk about on-premise, where in case if we are having to do that, what exactly it will take us to do is first we have to understand what are the different patches that SAP has built, and we need those patches. And again we have to understand the dependencies, and then we have to do it in our system. So it's a long process. So when SAP is doing this for us, it is really fast because SAP knows what they have done it, SAP knows how to deploy it, and they are actually taking all the ownership for building all the innovations, different capabilities to help us design interfaces in a very nice way. And also, if there is any upgrade, SAP is going to do it for us. So, this is how they are helping with faster innovation. So scalable. So now again, so all these are actually compared with your on-premise system when we talk. So when you go for cloud platform integration, you are making a very low total cost of ownership. You are not having to spend too much on data center and all. Minimal upfront investment. Again, you don't have to spend too much when you start with your business or you plan for setting up SAP systems in your landscape, or you would like to use SAP system. And also you would be able to build your interfaces faster with pre-built contents or standard contents. Then also suppose now you think that you need only 10 interfaces in your landscape, and after some time you realize that, oh, I need 50 interfaces. So when you increase the number of interfaces, what happens? You need more space, or you need more processing power, because you might after a year you may realize that, hey, I need more interfaces, and these interfaces are going to be complex in nature, and it needs very high level of processing power. So you may need more memory, runtime memory, you may need more CPU to process it. So when you go with cloud platform integration, it is very easy to discuss with SAP and get that additional memory, additional hardware added to your CPI cloud platform, and with very less the problem, you will able to get more hardwares, more processing power, more memory added in your cloud platform integration. That is where this scalable comes, and this is how it is going to help you. So now when someone asks you that what is the benefit of using cloud platform integration, you have to remember at least this high level 4 points, that it's lower total cost of ownership, minimal upfront investment, then faster innovations, then it is very easy to scale up. Okay, so now we are going to discuss that what are the cloud platform offerings or maybe capabilities. So as you know, CPI is a middleware. It will help you to connect all different type of systems, right? So here it will help you to connect like SAP with with non-SAP systems, then Java systems, then ABAP systems. So any kind of systems it will help you to integrate, and then it will also help you to connect on-premise and cloud systems. Also it helps you in communicating reliable and all, sends and receive high number of messages. So again, just high level, if you understand, it will help you to integrate any systems. Either it can be application to application, it can be business to business, it can be business to government. So it will help you to integrate any type of systems, any landscape, any file type. So it has that capability. Since it's a middleware, it has been built with only one purpose. It should be able to connect with any type of systems. It should be able to read and write any type of data format, right? So that is the whole purpose of this system. Okay, so fine, we'll go to the next slide, and here we'll understand that when you should be using CPI and when you should be using PIPO. This is a very important topic to understand, because sometimes it becomes very difficult for us to understand that whether we should go for PIPO, whether we should go for CPI. So understand, if you have only one system, or if you are planning for a middleware, and that you are going to decide whether you want CPI or PIPO. So let's discuss more in detail on that. So as per SAP, what they are saying is, suppose you are integrating cloud systems with cloud systems, then obviously you should go for cloud platform integration. Again, when you have cloud to on-premise, then you can either go for cloud platform integration, or you can go for SAP process orchestration. So this is also like this is SAP PO, or you can say SAP PI, process integration. So if it is cloud to on-premise, it is up to you whether you should go for CPI or you should go for PIPO. But yes, recommendation would be that if you have CPI, you should go for CPI. The reason is in near future PIPO may get decommissioned altogether, right? So it is good idea to move everything on cloud platform integration. But again, suppose you have everything, all your systems, all different systems on premise, then as per SAP you should use SAP PIPO. The reason is, when you have everything on premise, it doesn't make sense that from on premise send it to cloud, and again from cloud bring it to on premise system, right? So in that case you can go for PIPO system. So this is very high level understanding, But again, depending on your client, depending on your project, you have to see that what suits you more. But high level, if you understand, then this picture or this slide will help you to understand, to decide when you should be going for PIPO or when you should be going to CPI. So again, when we talk about this, that we may integrate cloud systems with on-premise system using CPI. So how exactly you're going to do that? So for that, we aren't able to connect directly to on-premise system, but we will have a cloud connector in picture. So just for now, remember that when we want to connect CPI with on-premise system, okay, with on-premise system, then we should use cloud connector, and this will work as for security, and it will also work as a reverse proxy. So it is very important that you should know that what is cloud connector. So for now, just understand high level that when we are integrating CPI with on-premise system, we should be using cloud connector. How to configure cloud connector? We will have separate class on that, how it looks like, how to log in, how to do the different configuration, how to add your CPI tenant. So we'll have separate session. So for now, just understand that if you are if you're planning to send any data from cloud platform integration to your own premise system, we should be using cloud connector. Okay, so we'll move to the next slide, that is related to open connectors. So again, in previous slide we saw on cloud to on premise, we used cloud connector. Here we know that CPI is going to help us to connect with on-prem system, and it is also going to help us to connect with cloud systems. Now it is very easy to connect with SAP cloud system, but I'm not saying that it's tough to connect with non-SAP cloud systems. But yes, the approach would be little different. The approach is, in case if we want to connect with non-SAP cloud systems, we will use open connectors, and already SAP has provided or enabled connectivity with non-SAP cloud systems using open connectors, and already we have available for more than hundreds of different non-SAP cloud systems. So when we go in more detail, now when we learn more practically, then we'll understand how to use open connectors and how easily we can connect to different systems. We will also have a practical demo session where I will show you how you will able to connect few of the non-SAP cloud system using open connector. So yes, we will discuss more in detail when we go and do more practical. Okay, so coming back to integration solutions versus on-premise systems. So here, this is complete theory. You may pause the video and go through it and read it, but high level, I can say that there are different topics that you have to understand when you go for cloud platform integration and when you go for process orchestration, what you should expect. So in terms of deployment, you know that all the deployments and all would be hosted in SAP, but if it is on premise, it has to be done by customer. And since it's in cloud, for CPI the responsibility would be with SAP, and since it is on premise, the responsibility would be with customer, means you, client. Okay, then supported scenario, if you see, almost everything are supported in cloud platform integration, whatever it was supported in process orchestration. But yes, we have to understand one thing, that cloud platform integration is new compared to process orchestration, that is PIPO. So obviously CPI is not that matured compared to process orchestration. But if I say it is not that matured, it doesn't mean that CPI is less capable of doing things. It has been built from scratch, and it has so many different capabilities for today's integration that you will see that PIPO may lack. So PIPO is again different on-premise middleware. CPI is again a cloud platform integration that is in cloud. So if you are comparing both, you cannot expect same thing in both systems. Both has different capabilities. CPI is growing and SAP is adding so much in CPI now. So yeah, CPI is really very powerful. When we talk about license model, so again it is here, you go for subscription model. Over here you have many other licensing model. When you discuss with SAP, when you talk about getting the SAP tenant for yourself, then you will understand more. And when you go for on-premise, again, it works on licensing, annual fees, and all. And like that, you have architecture. Okay, that these are like multi-tenancy, the data isolation. It would be, mainly used for architect people to understand this. Where how, if you understand how exactly in cloud how the applications are installed, how they are giving subscription for you by creating a different tenants, it is supported, right? And to have a better data processing ability, you have multi-tenancy. You can increase as per your requirement and all. And it is saying that failover is automated. The reason is it has been built by SAP, it is in cloud, it is managed by SAP. When it comes to process orchestration, it is like single tenant solution. Okay, then failover should be compared. So high level, if you understand, if you are taking CPI, most of the admin work would be taken care by SAP. When you go for on-premise process orchestration, all the admin work would be on customers' responsibility. Again, if we talk little bit more on a pre-packaged content, then we have actually in CPI we have so many, more than 530 packages, more than 1,000 integration flows that already SAP has given to integrate different systems like S4 HANA, SuccessFactors, Fieldglass, Concur, Ariba. There are so many different systems for which we already have a pre-packaged content, pre-built iFlows, and it is going to we will understand more that what is pre-packaged content, how to use that, how to understand that. So we'll have a practical session on that. I will log into CPI system, I'll do all those things for you, so you will able to practice along with me. So again, that we will discuss later. And again, in on premise also we had pre-packaged content, but I will say that since SAP is going to invest more on cloud platform integration compared to process orchestration, so right now the pre-packaged content that is called standard SAP contents, you will find more in cloud platform integrations, and they are spending more and more on CPI compared to PIPO. So that is also one advantage of using CPI. Okay, so again, in operations, you know that it would be handled by SAP itself, but here on premise, it would be by customer. And if you want to handle, you have cockpit and all. Now it is called SAP BTP, business technology platform. And when you talk about process orchestration, you will be using cloud manager and solution manager, I'm sorry. And again, for local monitoring, we can use SAP solution manager. Then again, we have local monitoring. So here most of the things, since it's in cloud, you will be using SAP BTP. And also in CPI as well, we have a very good handling of interfaces, monitoring things and all. But yes, overall, if you want to see the health of CPI uses and other things, memory allocations, all those things, then yes, we will go and see in the cockpit. So here, what is the preferred use case? So if we are going for cloud to cloud, then yes, it is preferred. CPI is preferred. Cloud to on-premise, then yes, this is preferred. And when we go for, when PIPO on-premise is preferred. So when you have all on-premise integration, then this would be preferred. And when you have cloud to on-premise, then yes, you have an option whether you can go for CPI or you can go for PIPO. So if it is on-premise to cloud, and you know that in future you are going to grow on the cloud itself, the preference would be to use CPI instead of PIPO, unless and until you have very specific requirement which due to which you may decide to go on PIPO. So again, this session will give you idea that what exactly you should be expecting from PIPO and what exactly you should be expecting from CPI. Yeah, so here we are going to discuss now that what to expect from SAP Cloud Platform integration services. So as I said, SAP will give you, high level three things. One is called discover, then design, then monitor. So when we talk about discover, if you remember, I was talking about pre-packaged content. So what is pre-packaged content? Pre-packaged content is something that SAP has already built, tested to integrate multiple systems as per their business need, as per their prior understanding that these systems would be needing this kind of integrations. So that is where SAP has built so many integrations, APIs, they have bundled those things and have added everything in Discover. So here you can see that this slide is a screenshot from cloud integration, that is CI. Earlier it was called CPI. So if I say CPI, it is same as CI, that is under integration suite. So again, so Discover will hold all the standard integrations, APIs, which will help you to use it as per your advantage. And obviously, if you are able to use the pre-packaged content, it will shorten your development time, because already the logic, mappings, connectivity, everything has already been given. The only thing is you have to configure the endpoint to connect the sender system and receiver system and read the data and throw the data on the target side. And whatever mapping we have, all those mappings would already been built by SAP. So as a consultant, what we have to do is, depending on our integration pattern, we have to understand what is the source, what is the target, what type of business data we are reading from source system and writing on the target system. Depending on the type of source system, depending on the target or receiver system, we have to understand that what is the business data. Depending on source, business data and the receiver system, we can search the integration and we can see those fields and all, if it is making sense, if we can use it for us. If you are able to use it, you will not have to do so much of development. You will able to save development and testing time. You will have to do minor testing to make sure that standard content that you have selected is the right selection and that is going to serve your purpose, business integration. So all those things you have to do, but yes, it is going to save time. So we have more than 544 packages, you can say, as a folder. Under each packages you will have so many integration flows depending on the system, depending on the integration pattern, that you will understand more when we do proper hands-on. Since this is the very first a discussion that we are having here, before we go in a deep dive, I wanted to make sure that you at least understand that what we are going to discuss and what we are going to do hands-on. So yes, we will have hands-on on Discover, and you will see that how to search prepackaged content, how to understand it, and how we can use it for our project. Then again, when we go for design, it is like building your own integrations or using the interface that you have got from Discover. So either you can get it from Discover prepackaged content, or it can happen is you have to build a custom one. So uh, that we can do it in design. So that this is where, if you can see, I am putting my cursor. I'll make a circle over here. So I hope you can understand we are talking about design. This helps you to build your iflows. Here I have just taken a sample mapping steps where you have a source message, and here we have a target message, and how we are able to map the data, that what data we are getting from source, and in which target field we are passing that data. So this is where this is just a small screenshot, but we will have a detailed hands-on session on this source to target mapping, and there I will help you to understand how the mapping works, how we can design a mapping, how we can create a source structure, target structure, how we can use it. Okay, so there are many more. This is just a one sample, since I wanted to show you very high level things before we do a deep dive. Now, when either you can select it from Discover. Okay, either you can select it from Discover, or you may build it completely custom. You have to do a deployment, and you have to execute it. The whole purpose of having an integration is you would like to execute that integration. Once you execute that integration, that is when the data from source system would be read, and it would be transferred to the target system. Now, for that purpose, you have to execute it, and you have to monitor it, that whether my interface is working as expected. So where exactly we can monitor? So that we have a section to monitor. And here, if you see, this is the third section, monitor. And here, if you see the small one at the bottom screenshot, okay, we have a monitor. And if we go for monitor, we have different monitorings, that how many messages have been processed, and this is about past hour. Then again, failed message is 0, retry message is 0. Then how many got completed? There is 5. How many integrations flow we have tried deploying? How many got deployed successfully? How many is in failure status? So this is just a small kind of a glance for you, so that you can understand that how CPI screens looks like. So I will be taking you in detail, and I'll make you understand how to use Discover, how to use design, how to use monitor. We will build end-to-end integrations using prepackaged content, using custom integrations. We will deploy the interface, we will run end to end, we will monitor it, we will do troubleshooting, and many more. We'll do all sorts of error handling. And when we do all those things, I will expect you that you can also use your trial account, pause my video whenever you want, and do practical along with me to learn CPI. Okay, so since this is a very first session, I wanted to give you a very high level details. So yes, let's go ahead and discuss more. So when I was talking about Discover, I told you that that is about pre-packaged content. So as you now know, what is pre-packaged content? The pre-packaged content is something that SAP has already built for us, and we can use that pre-packaged content for our advantage, right? So now this is just a sample slide where you can see that it can have a pre-packaged content for integrating cloud for customer, with integrating with S4 HANA, then field glass integration with success factor, employee central, then hybrid cloud custom integration with hybrid as a service, then again business by design system integrating with Concur, market cloud integrating with CRM system, Erivan network with business suite. So this is few of the examples. In earlier slide, if you remember, if you see here 5, if you can follow my cursor, okay, 544 Discover, Means already there are more than 544 packages, okay, or type of systems, type of integrations, and in each package you have different number of integrations, that is end-to-end connection. So here you can see C4C with S4 HANA you have 62 integration content. Again we have with Hybris Cloud to SAP Hybrid as a service, you have 44 integration content. So you can understand that SAP has built so many pre-packaged contents, and it can be integration flow or it can be API endpoint as well. So anyways, we'll discuss this in more detail, but the idea is to let you know so that you understand what is discovered. When we go to the next slide, this is talking about design. And as you know, when I say design, this is going to help you to build your integrations. And to build your integrations, SAP has given so many options or offerings, or you can say palettes, that will help you to do lots of magic in your integration flows. The few of the examples I have put it in a screenshot over here, but in when you go in detail session you will see hands-on on each, almost each and everything. For example, we have here that data store operations. For example, I want to store something in CPI database to use it for different purpose. We have a splitter options. So for example, if I want to split the messages, if I have a larger payload, I want to split the message while processing, or I have a multiple receivers or multiple flows, I want to route it, or I am getting so many different messages, I want to club together, I want to gather it. So for that we have a gather. Like that we have transformations, like I want to change A to B or B to C or any kind of transformation. So for that we have so many things. We have content modifier, we have a converter where we can convert from one format of data to another format. For example, from XML we can convert to CSV, from XML we can convert to JSON, or from JSON we can convert to XML, from XML to JSON. So those converters we can use. Then we can use a decoder to convert in many different formats. For example, base 64, then we can encode it, we can convert messages to base 64 and other available formats. Then we have a filter which will, for example, you have hundreds of employees, you have a permanent employee, you have a contingent employees, and you want a very specific employees, maybe employee ID from this particular region. Now you want to process and you want to ignore other employees from other region, then we can go for filter where it will filter the data for you. So like that we have so many other things: external calls, local calls, events, security. You can use decryption, encryption. We can use PGP, encryption, decryption, signing, verification. So many things we have here. So obviously this is a very high level screenshot to help you understand that how exactly this design works. But if you see high level palettes, we have so many now options over here. We are going to discuss these one by one when we log into system in coming sessions, and we will have end to end hands-on session on each and every topic. I will do a development in front of you. We will execute it. We will see this input, we'll see the output, we will see the system behavior together. And this is how we are going to learn design. Okay. So next slide talks to you about monitoring. So here you can see that as we discussed earlier, that monitor, it will help you to monitor each and everything. For example, how many integration flows you have deployed it to execute in runtime, how many got deployed without error, it is working for you, how many couldn't deploy due to any reason, and how many messages in your system is getting processed since past are. These are the configurable items. You can configure it to last 24 hours, last week, last month, and all. And so depending on different status, like this is all integration flows, then here we have, failed messages, then retry messages, then complete messages. Here you have a plus sign on this. Here you can click, and there are so many other status of the messages. As per our need, we can click this plus and we can add more palettes over here, and so that if we want to monitor messages of any specific integration or for any specific status, we will able to do that. But that we will see in practical when we see more, session in detail one by one. Also, when we will discuss about, security materials, like security materials, key store, certificate to peer, access policy, JDBC materials, connectivity test, and we have many more that has not come in this slide. So it's a big list. Okay, so all these things we are going to discuss more in detail. So now, what we have understood from all this discussion, from this very first session, I know this is complete theory, but this is very important that you understand before we go in, practical session, because there we would be discussing in depth. So high level information is very much important for us to understand. So what we understood is what is the use of middleware, how middleware is going to help us to connect, A2H system, B2B system, and B2G, that is business to government. What are the advantages if we are using CPI compared to on-premise PIPO or any on-premise systems? And also when you should be using CPI and when you should be using PIPO. And we also learned very high level for now theoretically that how or where we can use cloud connectors, and exactly when we will use SAP Open Connectors, and again that when we talk about integration solution cloud versus on-premise, that then depending on different points what we should be expecting when we go for CPI and when we go for PIPO. And again, when we come and see finally cloud platform integrations, then we understand it has discover, it has design, it has monitor, and how it is going to help us, reading the prepackaged content, designing prepackaged content or configuring the prepackaged contents, or building a custom integrations, and also to use monitor to monitor all the deployed integrations and monitor all the integrations that is running in runtime. And there are so many other things like security, data stores, variables, locks. There are many more that is part of monitor. So all those things we will have hands-on to discuss more. So this was all about a very high-level overview. This was completely theoretical session. Going forward, we will have very detailed hands-on session on each and every topic to help you understand CPI in depth, and once you complete this training you will able to work on any integration that is needed on CPI. Thank you.